Hello, this is you14055. How are you guys doing? So, I'm going back to an old series I have not done, that I have not done in a long time. And this is the college do's and don'ts / tips series that I've been doing for many years. So where is it now? Oh yeah, college do's and don'ts, tips and tricks and all that jazz. So one thing's for sure, I don't think I explained this well enough, but do you know, and I probably have said this before, do you know you're not always going to have the best night's sleep? You're going to definitely have sleepless nights, especially if you are not only just doing school, but you're also doing work, and you're doing this, and you're doing that, and you're doing this, and you're doing that. Also, if you're coming from a community college, or you just started doing this, applications are due very soon for most colleges and universities. Some out of states may still be open, but for the most part, almost all of them already have been open for a while. Sometimes the UCs start earlier and then the CSUs start later, but no matter what, they start during the October to November period. If you're in high school, it's a little bit different, but still there is a waiting period and a long period of wondering if you're going to get accepted or not accepted. Definitely your grades are a factor in it. Definitely some of the experience that you've had on and off campus from like jobs is definitely a factor at times. But generally it depends on the school and a few other little reasons. But anyways, so yeah, definitely applications are definitely the things you're going to really need to understand once you are about to transfer from a community college or transfer straight from high school to that university. Now, no matter if it's college or university, you're always going to have that very awkward and kind of big shock of wondering, oh my gosh, this is so different from high school. It's the same thing when you get out of high school and you decide, I'm just going to go work for a while. You're going to still have that same shock of, oh my gosh, I thought I was working hard already with my job and whatnot. Now that I'm old enough, they're giving me longer shifts and, much more to do. Yeah, you're going to have those type of feelings. Definitely. Now, one thing's for sure, if I have not explained this already, you are definitely going to be taking the placement tests. Placement tests for your community college or university determines on where you're going to start. And this also determines what classes you need, how many more classes you need before you'll be able to do your core degree stuff, your core major degree stuff, and that also determines on a few other things. So in order to do any of your core stuff, you have to finish these things first, which is from a community college and university level of general education, or your GEs. Generally, some places, some schools, some different countries have a different name for it, but still it is your general education that is part of your degree. And you definitely need to get that stuff done. And plus it will help you in the future because mathematics and English classes will help you in the future with not only maybe for your job, whether it's in the science field, whether it's in this field, that field, another field, you're going to have to use English and you're going to have to write papers and write little notes about different things within your job. Same thing with mathematics. At least you should know a good amount of mathematics so you can use it and help out your boss or your job when it comes to the mathematics part of that job. Almost every general education type thing has to relate to not only your degree and your job, even if you don't think it is, but in some ways it'll help you, especially when you are finally fully on your own and you have to pay taxes. And you have to pay the water bill, the heater, the lights, etc. Because as much as people think it's not useful, sometimes you start to forget some of those crucial and main mathematics that would really much help, very much help you with even the basic things of life that generally comes with you living on your own. Bills, taxes, tax returns, incomes, sometimes a 501k, I forget the name of it. I probably said that wrong. 501k, yeah. And any other things that you decide to use as a service or that you need to pay them a specific amount of money per month or per year, per week, etc. So it's definitely good to learn a good amount of that mathematics, especially since sometimes after high school, even during the summer before you go back to college after high school, you sometimes might forget some of even the basic understandings of some of that mathematics. So it's always good to definitely keep it in your brain and definitely still trying to learn it in your head. Now, as far as English and as far as those two, those are usually the main ones that people generally tend to get stuck on because it is a general education, part of the degree. But the problem is that not a lot of people. Sorry, I'm looking at my nails. Not a lot of people are good at one or the other. Some people have stronger points than others on one of those classes. And also, it's very different from high school. College, they're very critical about your essays, very critical about explaining different things. They are very critical about any of the mistakes or grammar mistakes or grammatical mistakes that you're going to make. And definitely as you get higher in the English GEs, whether it's for your degree or not, it is because there's like an extra one after the highest one that you go to. That's usually for English majors or other majors that are similar. But nonetheless, what I'm saying is each one that you finish, as it goes up, the essays get harder and harder and harder. Do you know that no matter what degree you do, and this is something that I know, and this is something that I know a lot of my friends who have graduated college and university, and just knowledge that I know in general from professors and just my own knowledge just from researching, that you are going to be writing a bachelor's or master's thesis. And those things, as much as you think, why am I writing an essay for that degree? Well, those theses are what that English and those English classes are preparing you for, to write a big essay or research paper on the topic and or subject that you are working towards, aka your degree. So that's the reason why they have them, as much as you would not like to do them. Anyways, so definitely placement tests are going to be the first thing you are going to have to do. And if I have not explained it before in one of the videos, you'll also have an orientation. Usually it's for community colleges and universities, and usually you need to pass with at least a 70 or higher in order to be accepted in the school, or in order to take classes at the school once you are out of high school. Basically, it's orientation. It's basically your general orientation, and you take the test so that when people ask you, or when you ask your other college students that have been there before, you won't really have to always ask them, okay, where's my building, where's my room, where's my class over here, where's my class over there, where's my dorm, where's this, where's that. So different schools have different systems of numbers. At one of my community colleges, we have a system where the first number, usually, if I'm not mistaken at the moment, first number is usually the building. The second number is usually the floor. And third and fourth number is usually the actual room number, usually. For instance, 1111 is one of the ones that we have at my school. So that would be, the building would be number 1, and because it's another 1, that would be floor 1, or floor 1, or first floor. And then the last 2 digits, because it says 11, so that would be room 11. Same thing if it was 4352, which is not actually the right. Wait, no. Actually, there is one. Yeah. Okay. So 4 is for what? Building 4. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I said 2, right? So it's second floor. And then the other 2 numbers is the room number. I think I explained that before in my video about it, but I'm just trying to clarify. Now, do know, and I think I have explained it already, but do know you will be reading a lot of things. You might be taking some classes that you're just wondering, this is not part of my major, why am I taking it? Well, it's not only to get you interested in the GEs that you have to get done, but also it is part of your learning process and to finish the GEs that you are required to finish. Because in a lot of ways, those things will help you in the future for either your degree or in life in general. For instance, a psychology class, I've done it for a degree, or if you're interested in it. In some ways, depending on the way that the professor will teach, it teaches you how to take care of yourself, such as stress, how to deal with stress, the different parts of your human body, the different cells of your human body, etc. And also, not only human cells, but also different experiments that explain why we salivate, food, why we need food, how does that work with our, energy. Same thing with bio, similar stuff, but the difference is not very psychology-based, it's more scientific, bio-based, where you're talking about different parts of the organs, different cells in the body, different tissues, different muscles in your body. For instance, I remember saying this in one of those videos, but you would remember how I may have said soft muscles and hard muscles and tough muscles and all that jazz. Well, I learned a lot of that from my bio class, and also through little researches, researches when I was doing a lot of my psychology classes and other different things that I learned. And even if I already knew a lot of this stuff ahead of time, definitely these professors will make you learn something new, whether this is your degree or not, whether you already knew a lot about this type of stuff or not. It is always amazing that they are able to teach you and make you understand a lot of these concepts that you may not have understood. And thus, you learn even more than you already knew. Because sometimes people are like, okay, I'm taking a bio class that has to do with health. I know so much about health. You're not supposed to eat this, you're not supposed to eat that. This causes too much high blood pressure, this causes hypertension, this causes that. I just need to eat a better, more balanced meal. I need to take care of my health and do this and do that. Well, there's more to it than that, you know? Sometimes you might not know that, oh, this and this makes sense, or this is part of how my body works. Like I said, it helps you and it makes you learn. For instance, one of the things I had to learn in my bio class, which I probably explained before to you guys, was the endocrine system. The endocrine system, how does it work? What part of the body it's is functioning at or functioning in? Also, how long does the red blood cells last in your body before you make new blood or new blood cells? Let's see here. Sometimes they'll talk about disorders. Sometimes they'll talk about different types of ways that your brain processes things. Sometimes it'll talk about fast twitch muscles and short twitch muscles. Some classes will talk to you about the bones and different types of bones. So there's a lot of things to learn in college, and I strongly suggest if you haven't went to college and you're watching this or you're listening to any of the videos that I've made about college, please listen to them. They're awesome, they're great, and I've got a world of knowledge that I've learned through my time in my community colleges, and sooner or later, my university, to whichever one I will be transferring to, which I would be greatly appreciated. I just have to see, how it's going to go, and such. But nonetheless, definitely a thing to think about is understanding more about your health. Yeah, sure, you might know a lot of things, but there's other things that you can very much learn just by taking these classes. There's some things that I didn't know, and I was just like, oh, wow. In fact, it was one of the essays I made because I did a lot of research about it and because I was very interested in it. And that was my essay on stress and how it affects our aging process, which I'm not trying to freak anybody out, but according to scientific facts and the different articles that I saw and that I found, and also from the way that my professor told us, that around age 30, especially if you don't take your health, no matter what, your body starts to have the thing called the aging process and such. But of course you can't really stop it, but at the same time, in a way you can kind of mitigate it at times if you know how to take care of your health and you know how to deal with stress. Now, anything that I'm talking about with health and everything else, even though I have learned a lot from the professors that I've taken and the research that I have read and such, I would very much recommend that you speak with your health providers and other people that can explain a lot of this stuff to you, just in case if you're kind of confused. Because I'm just giving you everything that I understand and learn from what I have learned from my professors and other people, definitely it's a disclaimer that I have to explain because I don't want to, of course, get in trouble for anything random that might seem like, touching on anybody's toes type thing, if you know what I mean. Anyways, yeah, so I learned a lot of these things from the different classes. And it's a world of knowledge and it's a world of understanding, and it's great to learn because it makes you think and it makes you understand yourself more better. And these are classes I would recommend. Different bio classes, different scientific classes, anything with psychology, very good classes. Okay, I'm almost done with this video. Now, I think I did say you have to read a lot, right? Well, one of the books I'm reading right now for one of my literature classes, Lit 231 from my school, is a literature class of British literature. And the one that I read recently was an essay on the understanding of human beings, or humans, by John Locke, who is a famous and very interesting writer. Back, according to my book that I'm reading for my class, I'll try and put some of the information of the books and the different things that I mentioned in the description if I can find them. But let's just say it's a little excerpt or a little piece from it, and it's basically an essay by John Locke which explains a few different things. And during that period, it was, I think, 1632. I'm probably wrong. To 1704. Very interesting and very fun read. It really makes you think. And that's one thing that I feel like will definitely benefit you and make you think about things in a more not only broader but also more specific understanding of learning. So, broad different understandings of things and then being more specific. It's similar to an essay, which now reminds me of the pi and t formats of writing an essay. If you guys are wondering what that is, I will explain that in another video. But basically, if you're wondering, I guess all I'll say is this is not food, this is not a drink. It is a method of understanding how to, in a general sense, and then later on in an advanced sense, knowing how to, knowing how to pair different parts of your essay in a structured way, and then advancedly intertwining each little one in a different part of the essay, and not always in order sometimes, but still making it so coherent that you understand what you're trying to convey and the point that you're trying to make. Which now reminds me, pi, point, is the first letter. It's the first word of that format of pi. Alright, anyways, no matter what, if you go to college, congrats, and work hard and push yourself and learn and enjoy the different classes that you take. And if you don't enjoy them, definitely go around. There will be times where you might not exactly have a major yet, but once you look around on the different classes that you take, there might be one that you might become very interested in and that you might really want to major in. Because I know that some, and or most, I try my best to tell people that you should definitely choose and know what you want to major in when you get to college or university. But sometimes there are people that are undecided, and that's okay in a lot of ways. But it also means, you'll have more work to do once you do choose the major that you're in. But it's okay. It is definitely okay to change your major every now and then. For at least your first year or part of a semester, if you are still undecided and kind of don't know what you want to do at the time. But still, try your best to choose one before you actually start. And learn everything that you have learned from your professors and all of your cohorts, your student, your not exactly your students, but the students that are in your class, your cohorts, as one of my professors has said, one of my history professors. Oh yeah, also one more thing before I end this. Do you know that in some classes you'll have to actually memorize? You'll have to memorize things, and you won't have a lot of time to memorize them. There will be also times where you might have to memorize a specific line or passage, and then that ends up becoming an essay. There will be times where you learn about something, and then later on, in the semester, they will put it on the midterm, and they might make it an essay question or a small response. So definitely read your books, analyze your data, and make the best decision of how you interpret some of that information, how you understand some of that information, and how you apply it to the class that you're taking. And it's always crucial to take many notes. It's always crucial to ask questions. In most classes, as I've explained before, you don't have to really raise your hand. You just take turns with every single person that is talking, and you ask questions that way. But in some classes, they will ask you to actually raise your hand. I tend to do this if I'm going to raise my hand sometimes, but usually that is not something you do in college or university, but sometimes some professors prefer it, even though most professors don't really do that, because they want you to speak. They want you to be confident, to say what you have to say and get it over with in a way so that you understand and they understand what you're trying to explain, and at the same time what they can answer with and explain to you, etc. I have not done this in a long time, so I'm sorry if I am jumbled with what I'm saying and may have made some mistakes on the way that I was speaking things. But like I said, as anything with education, which you should very much take, and learn and not take for granted, and what's the word I was thinking of? And not taking your education for granted is definitely something that you will cherish and that you will learn and that you'll improve and that you will see things in many different ways. And at the same time, later on, you will go to a profession that I hope that you'll be very passionate about and that you will learn. Alright, I think there will be more that I'll talk about in another video because I talked a little bit fast. Not a little fast. Okay, I am messing my words a little bit too fast, but at the same time, I did just get done with a lot of work, and it is currently right now 5 something in the morning, almost 6, and I finished some homework and other things, but I decided to take some time to make this video. So anyways, this is U140550 signing out. I need to get some sleep, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!